These are 9 very ripe pear tomatoes, a couple, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. This is 3 or 4 tablespoons of vinegar. And for the spices, I'm using cumin and black pepper. You can also, if you have salt, you can also add salt. Now, this usually needs a lot of olive oil, like something like a 1/4 cup or even 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Instead of olive oil, I will be using crude almonds, which I've soaked overnight to give it the, the fatty content. And usually, also, this needs a lot of bread, about maybe 2 or even 3 slices of bread, because it's supposed to be very thick. I've put 3 tablespoons of white beans here. This is the first time I use it, so I don't know what it's going to be like. So I'm substituting the beans for the bread, and I'll see what happens. I'll let you know. It's salmorejo of beets. So I have here cooked beets. I boil them. As I told you previously, salmorejo uses a lot of oil. So instead of oil, I am using almonds, which I've soaked overnight. It's about 50 grams of almonds. This is enough for 2 people. This is one slice. I put 1 slice of bread and I soaked it in about 4 tablespoons of vinegar. In a previous video, in the previous salmorejo recipe, I used white beans instead of the bread to thicken. It did not really thicken much. But it gave me, I had to add bread to it to thicken it. But really, if you want to have a full meal, you can have like maybe, like a 1/4 cup of white beans with it, and that would give you everything you need. The carbs, the fats, the proteins, and also, I'm going to be using a couple of cloves of garlic. Do as I showed you before, remove the green thing from the middle so that it doesn't repeat on you. You can use about half a liter of water, but I want to have it now, so I'm using ice. If you have time to let it chill in the fridge and for the flavors to develop together, then use water. Don't use don't use ice. And the spices are cumin and black pepper. I will see if I need anything more. I will note it down that I added something else to, either make it thicker or maybe add some more what do you call it? Some more vinegar. I'll blend everything and I'll come back to you and show you. Traditionally, it is garnished with eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and cured ham. But we are vegans, so we're adding some vegetables. This is the mixture that is usually added to gazpacho, which is just some cucumbers, tomatoes chopped up finely, green pepper, and some onions. So, this. Of course, you can add whatever vegetables you want. This is what I have at home, and this is what I like because, it's nice and cool and summery. So this is Salmorejo variation on the original one, which is just the tomatoes. And there is one more coming. Okay, so the third type of salmorejo is aubergine, that's eggplant, and zucchini. So I cut two eggplants and two small eggplants and two small zucchinis into cubes, and I roasted them in the oven for about 20 minutes. I did not roast them to get them caramelized, I just roasted them to get them cooked. You can also do it in the microwave oven if you want. Then there is the almonds, which I use instead of oil. That's about 50 grams of soaked, of almonds that have been soaked overnight. There are 2 garlic cloves. There is 1.5 slices of bread soaked in vinegar. I think I used maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of vinegar. Then the spices are cumin and black pepper. I'm going to be using ice because I'm going to be eating it now, but if you want, you can just use half a glass, about half a glass of water, up to a glass, depending on how thick you want it. The garnish is going to be Dukkah, which I have a recipe for in my gazpacho video, and I'm going to use some basil also to garnish. So I will blend everything and then come back to you. I forgot to tell you, that's the Dukkah. I forgot to tell you that the aubergines, I removed the skin because the skin of the aubergine can get bitter, so I removed the skin of the aubergine. Anyway, so that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Hasta luego.